episode of Fireside Chats. Today's topic is going to be the 5 pillars of fat loss. We're going to talk about nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress management, and lifestyle. So I'm going to be asking Trevor some questions. We're going to be rapid firing through this real quick. So the first one up is going to be nutrition. So Trevor, real quick, how does GCP preach nutrition? How do we do it differently than, say, a mainstream?
The big thing that we look at is we try not to be too far on either end of the spectrum. We believe in habits first and foremost. So what we're looking for is, like, when we say not either end of the spectrum, we're not crazy strict about anything, but we're not lackadaisical either, right? We're on both sides. We want to be right in the middle of that, and we work on that through habit-based nutrition. So the idea is we're going to give you one thing at a time, and we need to get better at that. So we look for either the lowest hanging fruit, like the thing we can fix the easiest, or what's your biggest weakness? What's the one thing you struggle with the most, and how can we start conquering that part? So our part with the nutrition is we're not going to be like, okay, we have to be a keto diet. We have to be something that's super extreme, but we're also not going to be like just in moderation. Well, we need to make sure that we are working on something all the time to get better and better at our nutrition.
Awesome. So what would you say is the main reason why you don't preach extremes?
Because extremes do get results, but they're not sustainable for a long period of time. So if we're looking for things that are going to be lasting for a long time, habits allow us to go. We can rely on these habits, the building blocks of our nutrition, and so we can rely on these. When things go wrong, we go back to our habits and get better at our nutrition, our drinking water. We're always good at that. We're good at taking our multivitamins, things of that nature. They build that foundation of it, whereas like the extremes force us to, like, probably most likely after you get that amazing result, in probably 6 to 8 months later, that goes backwards because you went too far one direction and your body's going to pull you back.
Gotcha. What is some advice you've heard before that you consider some of the worst advice you've ever heard given to people in terms of nutrition?
That's a tough one. I would say keeping your calorie count way too low is probably the one that I would say is probably the biggest one. If we keep our calorie count too low, we go into a starvation mode. And our goal is to, like, kind of play on that border that we want to get enough calories that our body can still burn fat, and but we also have enough calories to still be working on doing exercise, having the energy to make it through exercise. So I would say one of the worst advice is just, like, fact is, like, we need to keep that calorie count at your body weight. So let's say I weigh 200 pounds times 100, so it's 2,000 calories is what my body wants to be at.
Okay. Have you ever heard the one you mentioned fat? You ever heard the one where you say fats are bad? So what would you say to that one in terms of advice?
Depends on what diet you're on. So like if you're depending on the diet, but like we don't think fats are bad. We think there's a percentage of fats that your body needs, whether it's 20% or 40%. It just can't be 0%, right? Fats don't cause you to be fat. I think that's luckily gone away a little bit over time because a lot of diets now preach high fat, low carb, but fats definitely aren't bad.
Okay, cool. All right, next up we're going to talk about some exercise. So talk about exercise and the importance of getting strength and say cardio in as well. Sometimes when you go to one side too much or the other, what are some side effects you might have?
Yeah, so there's the spectrum of fitness that we're talking about. So on the spectrum of fitness, you can be too far on the cardio side or aerobic side, and too far on the strength side or anaerobic side. So we actually need, again, to meet in the middle. So we need so much strength. What strength does for us, building muscle. As we build more muscle, we burn more calorie, as well as our body gets more defined or toned, right? So we're making the definition of the muscles. So most people are looking for fit. They just don't want to be skinny. They want to be skinny and fit. They want to be lean and fit, right? So that's where the strength part comes in. But the cardio side helps us burn more calories. The thing about strength training is you don't burn as nearly many as calories while you're strength training. You build more over time with strength training, but you don't build as many at a time, whereas cardio helps us get a lot more calories at once. So when we put those two together and we have a good mixture of the two, either one day doing strength, one day doing cardio, or mixing the two together during a workout, you get the most bang for your buck. And we also help create what's called EPOC, which is EPOC is exercise post-oxygen consumption, which just literally means that we get a little bit afterburn having the two mixed together.
Right. So what are the benefits of strength training? One of the main things that is a focus here at GCP. What are one of the main benefits of strength training in creating that lean body mass?
I mean, there's two parts. So one is like from what you guys want from it and what we think is the value of it. So the one thing is for you guys, what you're looking for is your muscles are going to be a little bit more defined, right? You're going to be able to see the arms better. Maybe your legs will get a little bit more muscle definition. That's the part that probably you're looking from when you first come in to work out with us. What we look at it from is you bulletproofing your body, right? You're getting stronger, your core is stronger, you're breaking down less, you're able to move better, you don't get injured as much, you definitely don't have as many back problems or shoulder issues, things of that nature. So the strength component actually makes you a healthier individual, and a more sustainable body for a long period of time is like the benefit that we see it compared to the benefit that you guys see of it.
Well, there you go, the importance of exercise. All right, move on to the importance of sleep and why we preach sleep here. So talk about how much sleep someone needs to get, and if they're struggling falling asleep, what are some strategies you feel like that person could start implementing into their life?
Yeah, sleep, if you put it into a pillar category, it might be the big base of the whole thing. And that reason is like if you're exhausted, you don't want to do any of the other stuff, right? But you could be kind of bad on your nutrition and still be able to sleep or exercise. But if you're bad on your sleep, you want to get 4 hours of sleep, you don't want to do anything else that's on the side. And it makes everything else more complex. So we're looking for adults to get somewhere between 7 to 9 hours of sleep as the recommendations. I know that's hard for people, but realistically, you actually need more than that. So meaning like, okay, we need 7 hours of sleep, but most people have an hour of awake time in the middle during the night in terms of times when their body wakes up and goes to sleep. So you actually need, if you need to get 7 hours of sleep, you actually need to be in bed for 8 hours. If you want 8 hours of sleep, you need to be in bed for 9 hours. So that's actually a big misnomer out there. You actually need to be in bed longer than the amount of sleep you're going to get. Just because you go to bed with 7 hours left doesn't mean you're getting 7 hours of sleep. So that's the amount of sleep that you need is somewhere between 7 and 9 hours. And the best way to get more sleep, there's lots and lots of ways, but the key is making a routine. So routine is like something that I'm creating before I go to bed. I think for me, it's like taking a shower 30 minutes before bed. It's reading a book, making sure my electronics might be turned off. Using things like CBD oils or melatonin as well has been great. Getting your room temperature to like 65 to 68 degrees, somewhere in that range. You can go as low as 62 as well. Having the room as dark as possible can make a world of difference as well, because then your body really knows it's in that shutdown time.
Awesome. Stress management as topic number 4 that can kind of help out with getting some sleep if you're having trouble falling asleep at night. So talk about how stress management is important in terms of fat loss and then how it contributes to the other pillars as well.
I mean, the cool part about the pillars is they're all intercombined, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if your nutrition is good, these things might go over better. If you're exercising, you'll probably handle these things. So, like, it's cool. They're all interconnected, and they all need to be taken care of. That's why they're the 5 pillars. So, if one's off, then the other ones are going to be affected. But stress management is first of all, what's in the category of stress management? One is work, right? Another is, like, life things, kids, things of that nature. It's your social circles as well. So, the different people that you're spending your time with. So, to be able to manage these things, so stress in general raises cortisol levels, which then makes it so our body can't break down fat in here as well and actually retains fat more. So that's a negative for the stress side. But it also just makes it so we sleep less because we're thinking about it way more often. We're eating bad because we're stressed out about things, which, if you know, with COVID-19, you're probably seeing that already because you're a little bit stressed. Those are the things that we do struggle with a little bit, that stress management. Is somebody in your life like causing you, or your kids causing you stress? Their schedule's so great, so crazy. So being able to like figure out a way to manage your stress, or to know like what are the things that you can affect and can't affect. So we saw controllable versus uncontrollable. That's very important in stress management, figuring out controllable versus uncontrollable and putting things in place to be able to manage that.
All right, awesome, that's great. Then number 5 is going to be lifestyle. So the last topic we're going to go over is just lifestyle and how we can improve our lifestyle to help contribute towards fat loss.
Yeah, so lifestyle is the big picture of everything else. So first thing is like, what do we have a morning routine or an evening routine? So morning routine is how we get our day started right, and evening routine would be for our sleep. Do we move often enough, or do we sit all the time? So move often, do we go out for walks? Do we go out and play with our kids? Do we actually get outside of watching TV? Do we sit at a desk all day long? Do we do some stretching? So these are like the extra lifestyle kind of things that we can affect. Are we a person that's overly social, which means that you eat out a lot because you're overly social, you're always going out to eat with people? So those are actual controllable things as well that you can affect in your lifestyle, the choices that you do. Just because you're a social person doesn't mean you can't be social anymore. It just means that when I don't need to go out to eat every single time I'm social. Can we meet somewhere else and do those things? So those are a few of the things that you can actually be able to affect. Like with my kids, like you have crazy kids, right? And like they might cause you stress, but maybe if you go out and spend time out with them at a park, will reduce our stress, but also it'll improve your lifestyle because now you're moving more.
Very good. So during this time when we're dealing with COVID-19 and our stay at home, throughout the month of April, you can think about your 5 pillars and the best way to attack these with your life. Maybe you're struggling in one area a little bit more than the other. So as Trevor touched on, each of the pillars affects one more than the other. The stress during this time might actually be a little bit higher. Your sleep might be worse actually, even though you're staying at home. A lot of times when it comes to sleep, your body wants to deserve its sleep. So like earn its good night sleep. So getting those workouts in, making sure you guys are coming to these virtual workouts is going to help you guys. And then thinking of some time to give to yourself during this time. Maybe that is just alone time with the online workouts with Trevor and I. Maybe just tell your family, like, I'm going to go down in the basement, lock myself down there. It's my time. It's my 30 minutes. Or it could be like time where you're going to put yourself in a book. You're trying to get away from the world a little bit and help you manage that stress, especially during this time of dealing with COVID-19 and having to be stuck at home. All right, so this is our fireside chat. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, guys.